Hi friends, it's your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to talk about Campaign 4, Araman, by Brennan Mulligan in Critical Role. And I'm going to ask the question again, and we're going to dig into more because I believe there's just more receipts. Here's the question. Was anything we were told about Araman true? Right? Campaign 4, Araman. Was anything we were told about Campaign 4 true? Okay, 3 months ago. Critical Role comes forward and they said, new GM. A new world, right? And right here on my channel, you will find videos that said, I don't know if any of this is true, right? I don't know if either one of these is true, right? And I said it's extremely unlikely that there's going to be a new game master, and it's extremely unlikely that this is a new world. Okay, now why did I not believe it was going to be a game master? So first of all, Dungeons & Dragons doesn't have game masters. It has a dungeon master, right? It's the one game in the world that can use that, right? You can't just plop dungeon master into your OSR or indie, right? Only Dungeons & Dragons and say, hey, here's a dungeon master, okay? All right, and so 3 months ago they're like, hey, new game master, and now why did they do that? I'll give you the reason I think. Here's my humble opinion on that. Because at this point, 3 months ago, Daggerheart was coming, right? And you could buy Daggerheart off the shelves. And when I bought my Daggerheart, I was like, I strived to buy Daggerheart. I went back to my FLGS 4 days in a row, right? And literally when they received their product, to buy it within 20, they called me. They said, hey, Daggerheart's in the building, right? And I was like, oh, great, I'll be there in 20 minutes. I literally ran out my door and went to get it, bought it, and it was the only copy of Daggerheart that was ever in that FLGS to this very day. Like they got it for me. They never got it since. And they were right. 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 My purchase of Daggerheart was buying a $60 brick that did not matter, right? And when I bought it, when everybody bought it, we were like, new game master, new game master, new game master. Boy, am I excited. It's going to be a new game master because Campaign 4 is going to run on Daggerheart. No, it was not. It was I feel like the term new game master was very carefully chosen, right? To encourage people to, when you buy Daggerheart, oh, boy, is it going to matter. Boy, is it going to matter. It's going to change the history of tabletop role-playing games, right? Because Daggerheart's a D&D killer, right? Nobody ever played again after Critical Role switches from Dungeons & Dragons. And they very carefully, in my humble opinion, kept that going, right? They chose the term Game Master, and it was not true. There's no new Game Master. There's a new Dungeon Master. And if they had said Dungeon Master in Chrome, in gigantic letters in the announcement, everybody was like, oh, it's Dungeons & Dragons, because you can't say Dungeon Master if it isn't, right? You couldn't say it. You will not find the term Dungeon Master in Daggerheart. They use the term Game Master because they have to, right? Just like every other OSR and indie game in the world, right? And so, man, okay, all right. New world. Right here on my channel, months ago, you'll see me saying, "New world." You sure about that? I don't know. That I'm not sure that's going to happen, right? And the reason why is they're highly Exandria is a canon D&D world, right? They're just going to walk away from that. And even then, I was like, no, I don't think they're going to walk away from that. They're not, you know how many OSR and indie games and creators in the world have Matthew Mercer is a D&D canon author. Explorer's Guide to Wildmount, Call of the Netherdeep, right? Those are real. Those are D&D pure canon, right? Red ampersand on the side, right? This isn't some slumpy, junk you can find being put out by some OSR and indie creator, right? This is canon, D&D canon, right? All right. New world. Araman is a new world. Araman is a new world. Araman is a new, is it? I don't think so. All right. Here's the first receipt. Here's me coming back, double tapping what I said before. I told you. I was highly skeptical that Araman was a new world. All right, so is Araman a new world? Or is it just an unnamed continent on Exandria. All right. So here, okay. Now, if it's a new world, right? Brennan Lee Mulligan has to do a whole bunch of hard work, right? And Critical Role can't play their normal tricks. Oh, hey, all the characters, because the Critical Role players are absolutely terrible at what they do, and probably none of them have ever read the PHB from cover to cover, right? They get in tons of trouble. No worries, no worries. Hey, the reason you chose a robot, for fresh cut grass is because you don't realize that there really aren't robots in D&D. You could have chose Warforged if you had read any of the books, right? But no, just make up whatever you want because you didn't read PHB, and you're just going to make the dungeon master do the hard work to fill the deficiency of your knowledge of rules and lore, right? Like, it is okay. Listen to this, okay? Araman is a new world? Yeah. Let's test that, okay? So Araman is a new world, and now Brennan Lee Mulligan needs to do all the hard work, and they can't use the classic Critical Role trick that they've done 100 times. The players get hopelessly, bargled to the wall. They're jammed up, and they can't deal with the NPCs or the monsters that the dungeon master has put forward. So what do? Oh, bring in Scanlan, bring in Grog, bring in Caduceus, bring in Mighty Nine characters, no, don't bring in Belcells. Nobody wants that. Bring in those Mighty Nine, bring in those Vox Machina characters to save them. Every time we do it, everybody claps. All the critters get really excited. Boy, we love doing that, right? Like, don't make the characters actually level up or get better or anything. Just have their old characters that everybody loves swoop in and Deus Ex Machina. Oh, wait, no, believe us. Campaign 4, Araman's a new world. We're not just going to use those tired old tropes of saving everybody with grog, right? We're not going to do that. Oh, you're not? Okay, all right. Really, this is a new world. It's not connected to Exandria, right? All right, so let's get into it. Campaign 4, Campaign 4, all right? Season 4, Araman, Episode 4, Occtis, all right? Occtis dies, air quotes, yeah, dies, right, yeah. Okay, Occtis dies. Let's just go with that, okay? Even that's probably not true, all right? The rolls failed and Occtis died. Yeah, right, I'm sure that was the way it happened. I'm sure none of those rolls were fudged. The fact that I had to go through one DM and 2 different players had to roll exactly right for something to happen that they told us was planned, right? Told us was planned before the game, right? I'm sure those rolls were genuine. Teeth grinding. All right, here we go. All right, so campaign 4, Occtis comes back. What does he come back as? A hallowed one. What? What did you just say? A hallowed one, yeah. Isn't that the undead specifically from Exandria? Yes, it is. That's exactly right. That is the undead specifically from Exandria. Wait. Couldn't they just bring him back as a vampire? Wait. Couldn't they just bring him back as a generic undead? Couldn't they bring him back as a brand new undead? Something from Araman that Brennan Lee Mulligan's going to build from the ground up? They chose specifically the undead type from Exandria, right? Not from any of the open worlds of Dungeons and Dragons or that's not like the term cleric. It's not in every setting. That is a term that is specific to Exandria. Hallowed One was created by Matthew Mercer. That comes from Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, a D&D canon setting for Exandria. So what do you think is true, right? That Araman is a new world, right? And that Brennan Lee Mulligan just didn't do the hard work and create a new undead, or that he didn't just create him a vampire because he wanted to play on undead, or that he didn't create, that he specifically brought back an Exandria player character species. An Exandria species that was specifically created so that player characters could play undeads in Exandria, right? That term isn't used in any other, it's not like Spelljammer wasn't like, here's your hallowed one, right? Planescape didn't go like, oh, here's your hallowed one. right? Like, this is very specific, right? So if I'm right, and Araman's not a new world, right? Then Critical Role gets to do all their same nonsense, right? First of all, already, right? Brennan Lee Mulligan doesn't have to do any hard work. He doesn't have to build an actual real world, right? A new world. Doesn't have to build an undead, right? He can just use material that was already in Exandria, and only in Exandria. All the ones are used in other worlds, right? And if Hollow One is used because Araman is simply an unnamed continent of Exandria, then you could do every old trick you ever did. And we're all set up for, there's Grog, there's Scanlan, there's Pike. None of these players have to grow. Nobody needs to level. And all the deficiencies of every Critical Role player don't matter, because they use the same Deus Ex Machina they've used in every single campaign. Mighty Nine and in Bell's House. You think Araman's a new world? I think there's receipts it's not. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider like and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.